Why do you keep attracting narcissists? That's what we're talking about in this video. Hey, I'm Dr. Melissa. I'm a trauma expert and top doctor, and today we're talking about why you've left the relationship, you've been through therapy, why you keep attracting new narcissists into your life as potential romantic partners, as friends, as coworkers, as employees. I get it. You're wondering why? Why me? What am I doing that is attracting these people into my life? And I'll tell you, we're going to talk about 3 things in this video. First is the 11 characteristics that make you the ideal target. Second, we're going to talk about why your past relationships make you oh so attractive to a new narcissist. And third, we are going to talk about your unique, powerful attractant that just pulls them right in. How does that sound? So before we get started, let me ask you to drop in the comments, do you have this problem? Where are you attracting new narcissists in your life? Is it in your dating life? Is it as friends, coworkers, employees, acquaintances? Where are you having this problem? Okay, so let's talk about the 11 characteristics that make you an absolutely ideal target to a narcissist. First, it's that you're a person of high value. Now look, I get it. All humans are created equally. Everyone has the right to human dignity and respect. I get all of that. But in a narcissist's eyes, you are seen as someone who elevates their status. Maybe it's that you're very educated, maybe very successful, wealthy, connected. Maybe it's that you're very physically attractive. You're the person who has a lot going for you. You're a mover and a shaker. This is why you've gotten to this point in your career, in life. Number 2, you're honest. Isn't it ironic that narcissists are really attracted to honest people when they themselves are so dishonest? The fact that you are very honest is one of the things that a narcissist looks for that makes you an ideal target. Number 3, the willingness to accept blame, or worse yet, to blame yourself. That makes you even more attractive. People who are willing to accept blame for things that the narcissist or someone else has done make the narcissist's life and job so easy. And when you blame yourself, you're doing the job of devaluing yourself for them. It's like you're doing all the heavy lifting. Talk about having your cake and eating it too. I mean, that is an absolute narcissist dream. Number 4, the need for validation and approval from others. Look, when you are insecure, unsure of yourself, when you're looking to outside people, to the external world, to validate who you are, to tell you that you are okay as a person, that you're not a bitch or too aggressive or too needy, too clingy, too much, too high maintenance. Any of those things, when you're needing someone else to reassure you about who you are inside, you are just a sitting target, a sitting duck, waiting for a narcissist to come. The 5th characteristic is poor boundary setting. People who are not able to set and enforce boundaries are extremely attractive to narcissists. Why? Because narcissists don't want to follow someone else's boundaries. They want to tell you that boundaries are not acceptable. They want to be able to do whatever they want. And they want to be able to set boundaries with you, not the other way around. So inability to set and enforce healthy boundaries is a narcissist's dream in a partner. Number 6, you're empathic. Empathic people feel what the other person's feeling. If you're able to feel what the narcissist is feeling, to know when they're angry, you know when to walk on eggshells, or you're gonna suck up maybe to do things to get in their good graces again, so you can just go out to dinner or go on with your plans without a problem. When you're able to feel that they are angry or upset or sad, you're much more likely to shape your behavior in a way that suits them. Why wouldn't they love that? Number 7, you're caring and compassionate. Look, I know you. You've got a big, beautiful heart. You care about everyone. You want the best for everyone. You'd love to bring everyone with you on this amazing journey of life. And the narcissist loves that about you. Your big, compassionate, caring heart is going to want the best for them, is going to want them to be healthy and happy and whole. Why wouldn't they love that? The 8th characteristic is people-pleasing. You would be surprised at how often people please. And I'm not talking about just offering false compliments or trying to do something when you don't really want to. There are a lot of ways people make concessions in their life, in their businesses, in their careers, to please other people, to avoid having some sort of conflict or trouble. And when you look to say no to yourself, to say yes to someone else, because that's what people pleasing really is, right? Like, let's be clear about this. People pleasing at its core is saying yes when you want to say no, saying yes to the wrong client, saying yes to the wrong employee, the wrong hire, saying yes to the wrong romantic partner, saying yes that you're willing to help someone move when really you have other things that you need to do that day. People pleasing, saying yes when you want to say no, makes you such an ideal target for a narcissist or any toxic person to manipulate. Number 9 is being really trusting to the point of being gullible, that you take everything someone says at face value, that you are not noticing that their actions don't match their words. You so want them to be kind and good-hearted that you project those values onto them when they're not really there, and have trouble seeing someone for who they really are. The 10th characteristic a narcissist looks for is someone who is easily manipulated, someone who will trust what the narcissist says to be true more than they trust themselves. This goes hand in hand with that need for external validation and approval. The narcissist wants someone who is going to trust them, is going to be easy to gaslight. They're lazy by nature. They love it if you're willing to do the heavy lifting for them. And the 11th characteristic is that you have a history of narcissistic or other abuse. When that is the case, the relationship feels normal. It feels like what you experienced maybe between your parents as a child, or other relatives, or adult friends that were in your parents' friends that were in your life. If you experienced it in a past relationship yourself, it feels normal, kind of like a worn shoe. It feels like the way things are supposed to be. And you end up normalizing things that are not normal. Like, I can't tell you how many people say to me, like, well, a silent treatment for a few days, that's just normal. All couples do that. No, healthy couples don't do that. That's not a healthy tactic. But if you were raised with relationships where you witnessed silent treatments, if you were in relationships previously where you experienced silent treatments, of course you're going to think it's normal. And that is just icing on the cake for the narcissist. So let me ask you right now, how many of these characteristics do you think you have? And you don't have to come clean with which ones you have in the comments, but I'm so interested if you could drop in the comments now, do you have 2 or 3 of them? Do you have all of them? And the reason this is so important is because there are some that we, of course, don't want to change. We still want to be a person of high value. We still want to be honest and empathic and caring and compassionate. But when you start to look at the others, you see doors of opportunity to change your attractiveness to narcissists moving forward. Okay, let's come to the second question in this video. Why do past relationships make you such a fantastic target? Now, we talked about this a little bit in the last one. Past relationships sort of set the tone for what is normal, but they've also taught you how to behave. It's almost like training a pet. In this case, it was training a person, grooming you to behave in a certain way. If you were in a past relationship that was toxic, and you come through the door and you just feel that anger emanating off of your partner. They say they're fine, but all of your hairs are standing on end and you are feeling really unsafe. To move through quietly, to not really ask them anything about their day, to definitely not bring up any points of conflict. Maybe to try to do something nice for them, offer to take them out to dinner, or schedule them for a massage, something that will kind of diminish that energy. And it's that grooming, it's that being trained by a previous narcissist, a previous toxic person, that makes you such an ideal target, that makes you so attractive to narcissists moving forward, because you know the dance, right? You've been there, you've done that. You know the dance moves. They happen so fluidly. It's like muscle memory. You don't even have to think about it. Maybe you come in from the store all excited about this new blouse you bought. You show the narcissist. They say, "Oh, that's not really a good color on you." And you scoop the blouse up, put it back in a bag, and you're going to return it without even thinking twice because of the narcissist's opinion. Say the narcissist makes some romantic gesture and you absolutely swoon at this love bombing effort. The narcissist knows how to trip your triggers. They know how to trigger that chemical response in your brain that is going to make you willing to do things that you otherwise wouldn't. That's going to make you willing to move too fast. That's going to prevent you from seeing who they are clearly. Your past relationships have set that trigger. The narcissist can pick up on these kinds of things very fast. And when they find someone who has a history of a past relationship with the narcissist, even if that has not been shared with the narcissist, they know. And it makes you an absolutely attractive target. Now, if you like this video, if you want to know more, I encourage you to click subscribe, click that notification bell, because we've got videos for you several times a week. Okay, let's talk about the third topic, the unique, powerful attractant that you have that keeps attracting narcissists. And this is really important to understand. There are lots of people in the world that are high value. There are lots of people that are honest, that are compassionate, that are caring. Now, we might say there's not really that many, but there are people out there that have those characteristics that do not attract narcissists. So if you are attracting narcissists, it is because you have a unique, powerful attractant. It's almost like a pheromone, or, like an animal being attracted to a specific scent that is just broadcasting to all of the narcissists in your vicinity. Here I am. And this unique attractant is your trauma bond. Now, we're going to talk about this more in future videos, but the trauma bond is not just still being in love with an ex. The trauma bond, if you have a trauma bond existing with anyone, it could be a parent, a sibling, a grandparent, a teacher, a childhood friend, a previous romantic partner. If you have a trauma bond with anyone, it allows love bombing and devaluation to work for a narcissist in a way that it does not work for other people. I want you to really hear that. If you have a trauma bond with anyone from your past, it allows the narcissist love bombing and their devaluation to work to give them supply to make you more deeply engaged in the relationship than it would on anyone who does not have a trauma bond. And I want you to hear this point so clearly, because the trauma bond can be broken. So often we think, we just need to move on. We just need to leave that relationship behind us and move on. We just need to put some space or some distance or maybe a period of time. We'll stop thinking about them. And heaven help the person who thinks they're going to get over someone in their past by being with someone new. That is a recipe for disaster. A trauma bond does not go away until you consciously choose to break it. And I'll tell you, for me, it took me years to figure it out. It's not something that they taught in therapy, at least not in the trauma therapist that I saw. This was something I had to figure out on my own. And once I broke the trauma bond, I started attracting a whole different caliber of person. I no longer was attractive to narcissists because their tactics no longer worked on me. I'd like to share with you a guide that I have created to walk you through the process of seeing exactly where you are on your healing journey. Breaking the trauma bond comes in step 4. And I know you want to know if that's where you're at, so that you stop attracting new narcissists into your life and you can move forward with healthy, happy relationships. Click the link in the description so I can get that guide into your inbox today. I'm Dr. Melissa, and I will see you in the next video.